Hello fellow gamers, it's me Schnott again. Well, this week Maddox. I'm not quite playing Warcraft anymore. I played Mists of Pandaria, hit level 90, and to my dismay and shock, Warcraft ends at level 90. There's a surprise, isn't it? Just like every other expansion, once you hit endgame in Warcraft, all you do is go, raid, heroic, get gear, stand and model. That's it. There's really no content afterwards, and I'm really not up for that right now. I've played enough Warcraft. I've stood around in all the gear. I just can't do it anymore, so I closed out the account. And Rift had this huge expansion come out, and I hadn't played in a while, so I thought I will look at some new content and play some Rift. So I used to have a level 44 toon in Rift, Cleric Healer, and I tried playing him again, and they did some changes and it wasn't how I remembered, so I decided just to restart a new cleric, new healer. Obviously I play healing best, but Rift gives you a few other options. You know, you don't have to be a full healer or the full-time healer. You can be a support person, like they have a mage class that heals, which I'm also leveling one of those at the moment, and you'll probably see some support from that character soon. So not only do they do DPS, but they do healing and kind of help the healer along, because the dungeons are still kind of hard, even at low levels in this game. You're not inundated with all this OP gear, so you can just book through a dungeon and it's done in 30 seconds. So you still kind of have to work at the dungeons in Rift, despite how long you've been playing, because they don't have that heirloom gear that Warcraft had to offer, so you're not going to be OP from the beginning. First boss encounter is pretty simple here. Tank and spank in all reality. I don't know how much direct healing I am doing at this point, because I know there was a cleric, I think he was a steampunk cleric, which is part heals, part DPS, and there was also a Chloromance mage who was also part healer, part DPS. So I probably did the bulk of the healing, but I'm sure those two did a huge amount of support healing as well. So I don't want to say it's an easy tank and spank and an easy heal, because I had a lot of support on that one, or in this dungeon overall.
I have a task for Innocent. Good luck.
This boss fight has a lot of ads going into, or that spawn throughout the fight, but at the end you'll have 3 ads that will spawn. You want to kill the healer ad first and then kill the other 2 toons. It's fairly simple, fairly straightforward fight. Again, I had 2 support healers going on, so I don't want to say that this is an easy heal, because I definitely had a lot of support. What I can tell you though is there's some really huge mobs in here. I mean, really monstrous huge. When we did wipe on one of them, I was just overwhelmed by them. The tank dropped and we all just got slaughtered. So be careful with those pulls and those fights. Other than that, it's fairly straightforward dungeon. For those of you who haven't played Rift, it's actually kind of a cool game. For MMOs, I think it's one of the few MMOs that actually make money with the pay system. You know, you still got to pay a monthly fee. Where Star Wars, the Old Republic will be going to a F2P or a free-to-play system here soon. And I may go back once it goes free-to-play. We'll see. Again, Star Wars did the same thing. Warcraft did Endgame. You just do nothing, and not a whole lot of content afterwards. They had a really cool idea. I was really hoping big things for Star Wars, and it just sort of didn't go there for me. But Rift is really neat. They have a lot of dynamic things going on in the game. One, the rifts themselves just pop open, and there's an instant raid group made. You don't have to ask. You don't have to just join the raid. You'll go, well, do you want to join the group? Or you click yes, and you're part of the raid. There's no searching for a group there. You're gonna just join in automatically. And there's world events, as well as big quest chains where you needed the assistance of other people, and you can join in those groups as well, in dungeons and raids and so forth. They have a really cool game, and not enough people really play this or really recognize this, and I think they have a great idea. And hopefully, as this game grows with this new expansion, I mean, they just did some massive expansion in this game, and I'm really looking forward to meeting some of it. The only thing I don't like about Rift that Warcraft has, that I think is a magnificent concept, is the different starting zones. You know, if you're a Night Elf in Warcraft, you start over a Night Elf zone, and etc. Rift, do have two factions, and you start at one zone if you're the good guy, and well, it depends on how you play and your perspective of good and evil. But Ascendants start at one end and the Defiants start at the other, and both have the simple purpose. So again, I think it's a great game. I wish more people would give it a shot. It is a lot of fun. So if you've never played Rift, go out there. They do have you can free to play up to level 20, which basically takes you through the first zone in the game, and check out some of the content. And I don't think they limit you to anything on their F2P playing. So jump in and give it a shot. Right here, as you're going through this little gauntlet run, you see a bunch of orbs down there. You need to stand near the orbs while fighting the ads. If the group stays away from the orbs, the ads don't die as easily, and they'll overwhelm you pretty quickly. The orbs aid in that process. So the whole group needs to stand near orbs while fighting. So keep that in mind as you're going through this gauntlet, heading towards the final boss. Again, this kind of goes back to what I was saying about the dungeons here. They are not overly tricky, especially for this to be your second dungeon in the game. Your first one is the Realm of Fey, which hopefully I'll get up on a different day, and you can see what that dungeon looks like soon. And so they make the dungeons a little more difficult, and again, without all the top tier gear, they're a lot more fun. Final boss, pretty easy. Tank will attack the boss. It's going to be a little AoE damage going out. Heal up through it. There's going to be a character that comes in the game, and basically refer to him as light. When he appears and a giant light around him, you need to run to that character, and he'll help absorb some of that damage that the boss is going to put out AoE wise. If you don't, you'll most likely wipe in the fight. And then you go back into the boss fight and finish off the boss again. And it was fairly simple, pretty much tank and spank. I think despite the fact that I had 2 off healers with me, that I probably could have healed this fairly simply as well. So again, I'm not to say one MMO is better than the other. I think each has their challenges and each has their pros and cons, so to speak. And this one right now has a little more pros because I'm starting at a low level again and I'm kind of building my way back up. So it's always fun to explore the content and so forth. Rift does offer a dungeon finder and PvP as well, and you'll see a lot of PvP coming up soon because as many of you know, I really do enjoy my PvP. So you'll get to see that here soon, and keep following up and you'll get to see some of the new dungeons and some of the newer content after level 50, which I look forward to showing to you guys. And peace out, have a good one, and hope you'll keep watching my video.
Thank you, heroes, for cleansing this place of Elsbeth's corruption. I